Wow, I love that music. Hey, everybody, welcome to Hypnosis Hero, Get Hypnotized Live. Tonight on the show, one of my favorite people in the world, in the hypnosis business and the world, myself. No, we also have a very special guest tonight, the incredible, the amazing Grant Saunders. He's a stage hypnotist from out of England, really one of the best in the country of Great Britain, UK, England, all of that, and the world, really. I hope you're having a great week. First thing I want to do is I want to thank everybody who's been tuning in and all of the great comments. Actually, I'm going to bring Brian on. Brian, I'm going to bring you on right now. Hey, everybody. Welcome Brian Bay to the show. He's my trusty co-host.
How are you, Jim? Happy Friday to you.
Thank you, Brian. I am doing super great. Found my iPhone, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, I've had so many comments about the show 2 weeks ago with who? Wendy Friesen.
Yes,
that's right.
Oh God, that was probably one of at least I'm going to say top 5. I'm not going to name which order because we're not going to upset guests, but that was definitely
exactly
one of our.
Good point.
I think we had like minimal technical stuff too.
Yeah, we had minimal technical stuff.
It just, I could have talked to her until 2:00 in the morning.
I'm telling you, she was a fantastic guest. I'm just hoping that our guest tonight will be as charming and entertaining, but who knows? We had a ton of views. We also, I've had a lot of people message me, even a stage hypnotist today messaged me. I said, I'm listening to the interview with Wendy Friesen, and it's great. I was like, yes, thank you. So, and we've also got, I need to let everybody know, we've got some fantastic people coming up on the show. We've got, who do we got? We've got Tim Barlin, who's a hypnotist right out of Ellensburg. I've known him for about 20 years. He's coming up on the 3rd, I believe it is. And we've got Justin Trans, who is, he's one of the most well-known hypnotists in the business. Yep. Yes. Look this way, look that way, sleep.
Yep.
And a kind of a controversial figure, but a really nice guy when you talk to him. So I'm really looking forward to having him on, and we're getting a lot of people booked on the show. Yeah. Before we go any further, Brian, how's your week been?
Oh, it's been a challenge. We've got a friend of mine who's looks like he's kind of chipping onto the 18th green of life, and it's just I read something about grief where it's like your grief is it kind of is representative of the love that you have for somebody, but
right.
on a positive note, I don't think I could have ended a Friday in a better way. I got great news for a client, and my daughter turned 18 today. So
hey, nice.
She as far as I know, she's not on drugs, she's not pregnant, she's not in jail, she's not on a pole. Happy day, and I'm going to call that mission success. So
fantastic.
We've been waiting for our guest to come on this week. I've been looking forward to it for at least probably the better part of a month now. And
yeah.
So
yeah, me too. And he's staying up really late for us. He's staying up super late, just like Becca over there in England. Hey, if you're watching right now, it looks like we got quite a few viewers. Please drop a comment. Let us know where you're at. And of course, like and share. I'm going to bring on our producer right now, Brian. Give it up for Sean Kostiak. Sean, did I say it right this time?
Sure. How about I unmute myself? There we go. You think the tech guy would know that by now?
You're fired,
Friday,
Sean.
everybody.
Say your name for everybody.
What's that?
Say your name for everyone. Say your name.
The official pronunciation is Kostiak.
Kostiak. I said it right.
Yeah.
Sean, how's your week been?
My week has gone swimmingly well. It was live on TikTok for the 3rd time with a co-host from Portugal, who is originally from South Africa. Wow. You can imagine the time zones very similar to where Becca and our guest tonight are.
Right.
So we had to kind of time things up. So I go live Thursday at 5, and she goes live Thursday at 11, because it's just that different. So we've been doing well at that. Had lots of successes with clients this week. A lady that I've been working with that is dealing with some postpartum depression and self-soothing and self-regulating with alcohol, and I think we're 95% of the way there with her. So, and I had another client that we finished her sessions, and she's sleeping a lot better. So, those are all good, positive things that we can do because we have that magic.
Sounds like good news all around.
Yeah,
absolutely. Sean, please drop your website there in the comments, and your TikTok handle for everybody. Do me a favor and drop Brian's in there, and also the link for, I'm going to hit you guys with a bunch of links all at once. Of course, the one for if anybody wants to join us, because on this show, you can come on and you can join us right here, right now, Friday night at about 7:30 p.m. Pacific. You can talk to us. You can talk to our guest, who I'm bringing on in just 1 minute. You can also get hypnotized live by our guest, who is this week's Hypnosis Hero. Sean, I'm going to put you in the background again.
See you guys later.
We got to get our guest on. He's drinking all the booze in the green room.
That's right. Save some M&Ms for the rest of us, damn you. All right.
I believe he calls it refreshment. a term you'll learn soon enough, Jim.
Okay, good. I'm looking forward to it. So where are we at? Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say. Sean, it was super helpful, and I think people who are watching will recognize this. Super helpful to have somebody there in the background, right, Brian, that's going to feeding the links out there and helping people with connection issues so that you and I can really focus on the guest.
And I'm going to be looking that way to my other screen. I'll flip-flop between the Facebook and YouTube, and I can respond to comments as well.
Thank you. Excellent. Appreciate that. All right. Without any further ado, seriously, I love this guy. I've known him personally for about 5 years. We met at a conference in person, but we've been kind of acquaintances on Facebook for quite a while. He's now my business partner. We're working on a lot of joint projects together. Just a swell fella. Let's bring him on, everybody. He's the UK's #1 stage hypnotist. Please give it up for Grant Saunders. Yeah.
Sound effects. Where's our
sound effects? I think I've got sound effects somewhere.
Yeah. Play your own.
No.
Oh,
there we go. I've got my own sound effects.
We're semi-professionals here.
Yes.
We think we know what we're doing.
Yes. I've based a career on that. Pretending.
Yeah. Girl, same.
Awesome.
All right, everybody, look this way. Look this way. Sit down. You heard applause.
Yes.
Cool. I was.
It's so weird for me to be a guest on a podcast, on a live stream. So I promised myself I'm going to behave.
Yes, because you actually, you're quite the live streamer. You have got, and everybody who's watching, you've really set the higher watermark for the rest of us as far as presentation goes. Look at the background there. Excuse me. It looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well done, sir.
It's the studio is tidy between these parameters here. Everywhere else, it's an absolute tip. But that's the joy of live streaming. You can hide everything you don't want anybody to see.
Well, and I just realized as mine was over here, it's like it's showing the wall, and I got to just move it a little bit, show my granite background. And Brian is going with the fake facade of cupboards. Well done.
Yes.
Well done, Brian.
Oh, kitchen chic. It's
kitchen chic.
Lighting
exactly.
in here. Yes.
It's one of the great things about live streaming. I've always said this as well. I would sooner have an authentic background than a fake green screen background. Fake green screens always kind of, they give that sense of inauthenticity. So yeah.
And I told you the story. When I was talking to some app developers out in India, and we had some that I remember one group of them, they were in this small office. You could see the background. There was nothing on the walls and it didn't look great. And then there was another one where it was the blurred background. It was just, you couldn't see what was behind them. You know, they had the blurred background for Zoom, and it just felt like, oh man, I don't know. It's like, what are they hiding back there? You know, I don't see anything. And I see that with the same thing with a green screen. You know, you're like, what are they hiding back there?
Yeah. And if you can have a green screen, have dinosaurs chasing you or something, make it interesting. You know,
exactly.
Aliens.
So we had our Masonic Lodge, when COVID happened, they weren't letting us meet in the buildings. So we would jump on Zoom, and it wasn't any official meeting. It was just kind of like, hey, how's everybody doing? How are you holding up? And so what I did is I used my laptop, and I got out of the field of view for the camera, and I did a screenshot of what was behind me, used that as my background, and then I got one of those green morph suits that covers your entire face. And then I put a hat on and like a hockey jersey and everything. And so it's just like this invisible man. They could hear me and everything. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's the green screen. You can't see it. And it just projects. It made it look like I used the camera image as my background.
Nice.
So
I must admit, we had during the pandemic, we had lots of Grand Lodge temples as backgrounds, which was quite interesting.
Nice.
Miami high-rise condo and everything.
So, unless you're doing unless you're like a broadcast quality green screen, don't do it, because it looks like crap. You're floating and it's weird and all that stuff. Don't do it. Even just put some plants behind you and paint the wall. I don't know, do something nice. Or just go with chic cupboards. So Grant, tell us where we can find some of the work that you're doing, because you're doing a lot of live streaming type stuff. You've got, I'll just let you go ahead and tell us.
Yeah, I mean, I do a thing for live streaming for hypnotherapists. I do a show for Be Live, which is a live streaming software company, Be.live, which are great. As well as that, I do a couple of, you got to get the plug in.
How much did you pay for
that? A couple of, I do Sunday sessions, which is every Sunday, 7:30 UK time, 7 o'clock UK time, and whatever time in the US. And I was doing Grant Talks Funny Bits, but I'm waiting to start it back up in March once my diary frees up a little bit. And then on top of that, doing hypnosis and some fantastically exciting projects with you, Jim.
Absolutely. And that's kind of funny, the whole Funny Bits, because, I had started doing this podcast, a different kind of a podcast, just bringing on mostly hypnotherapists. And then I stopped doing it. And then you start doing Funny Bits, and you stop doing Funny Bits. And then we switched the format of this show to bringing on hypnotists. So it's like we're just kind of passing the baton.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things. I mean, for me, live streaming kind of got me through the pandemic. But it accelerated my business so much. It's unbelievable. And I do believe anyone, whether it's a hypnotherapist, whatever, even if you're a plumber, you should be live streaming something to do with your business. It's the best way to get that instant feedback, instant reaction, answer questions, build connections, build rapport with an audience, whatever you do. So yeah, live stream is the best.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's such a great thing to do. And, what I have found too is like, like for my business, in fact, Brian actually pointed this out one time, because I would oftentimes say, your success is my success. And at one time he actually, in a review or something, he said his business motto is your success is my success. And I was like, oh, that really is it. That really is the motto of the business. And this is what I found, and we're both doing this, is we're elevating other hypnotists. We're being elevated at the same time.
Yeah. It is that whole thing of, especially stage hypnotists. I think hypnotherapists have done really well over the years because there is quite a good support network, but stage hypnotists have just, the Lone Rangers on the road by themselves, recreating the wheel, kind of being dead protective over their own material and doing their own things. So, part of the thinking behind Funny Bits was to get people together and raise everybody up. And I think you're always going to do well in any business if you're delivering value and trying to help other people achieve their goals.
I agree completely. And, it's interesting that, we have, I remember this one stage hypnotist here in the area that was kind of gave me the cold shoulder when I first started. but I'd always see him posting on his, he's also a hypnotherapist, and he'd be posting on his Facebook wall things like, "Hey, I can help you to live your dreams." And I remember one time I was just like, "Oh, I get it. You can help me live my dreams as long as it's not your dream too." So doing the same thing you do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think sometimes people can see when there's a cell there. I was talking to a guy he's got an office just down the road from my office here. And I'm wanting to do some stuff with like some camera stuff. And he's got some really nice cars. So I'm like, listen, let me get my cameras out and let me just film like an epic promo reel for one of your cars. One, I want to do it as a bit of a fun project, but there's no cell involved. Yeah. And you could see he was kind of like, yeah, but what's it going to cost me? And I'm like, no, listen, I want to have a play around in your cars. In exchange for that, I'll give you some promo videos. So we're always dead cautious of what it's going to cost us. Where's the edge coming from? So once you can get past that and you can see, actually, you know, by making you do well, it makes me look good. It elevates my profile. You know, in the long run, we're all kind of, a rising tide raises all ships.
So true. So true. And we actually have a project coming up, and if Sean will drop the link for this, do you want to tell people about it? The Performing Hypnosis Summit.
Yeah, the Performing Hypnosis Summit. It's exactly kind of what we were just talking about then. It's a collection of really great stage hypnotists, performance hypnotists, and the performance hypnotist is, it doesn't matter how you are presenting hypnosis. If you're presenting it to an audience, how you deliver it, all of these things make a massive difference. It's a collection of really great people. The purpose of this is that we're all learning from each other, and we're all raising the standards, raising our learnings, raising our, you know, our delivery, and hopefully just getting better. It's getting stage hypnotists, performance hypnotists together and agreeing on stuff. And there'll be some people that disagree in there as well. There is some controversial characters involved in that. But then just because you disagree with somebody doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you're right, they're wrong. It's difference of opinions as well. So, you know, I think it's going to be really interesting, but I'm looking forward to listening to some of those. I mean, Anthony Gale is on there doing, is it 2 hours, you say?
2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours.
I mean, 2 hours of Anthony Gale is, I mean, that in itself is worth double the ticket price. Tom Silver is the keynote. It is really epic. I'm really excited about it.
You know, that reminds me. Oh,
go ahead,
Brian. No, go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I was going to say it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I like kind of both of your takes on it. Where, you know, a lot of the conflict in the world is where people, and even in relationships, you have people that are, you know, there's a problem that needs to be solved, and the discussion turns to a debate. And the only way that you want to debate is like debate club in high school. You know, you have to beat the other person and get and it no longer is I'm listening and we're having a discussion. I'm seeking to understand your point of view. And even if you don't agree with it, I've had conversations with people saying, "Hey, your stuff's perfectly valid. Like, you bring up salient points."
Yeah.
I believe my point a little bit stronger, but I still respect and value your thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, it always surprises me of some of the arguments and debates that goes on about stage hypnotists, about pre-talk, and about, you know, you say this and it doesn't mean that and it's not this. And a lot of it is like, I know I say some things that I don't necessarily agree with in my pre-talk, but I know from an audience's point of view, that's the best thing for me to say to give them a better understanding of it and get my volunteers on stage. And so sometimes I'll say stuff like, you know, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. I don't necessarily believe that to be true, to be fair. But I'll say it because, you know, you can't make someone do anything that goes against their deeply held morals and values. I'll say these things in order for the audience to feel, oh, do you know what? That feels natural. That feels normal. It's just like a daydream. I'll volunteer for that. And then once I've got them, then pow, then you can have some fun with them.
And once you have their buy-in.
Exactly.
It's great. I mean, like it's an interview or interrogation technique that you know, law enforcement uses. You know, could you imagine sitting down with somebody who's, you know, convicted or is accused of, you know, abusing a child or something like that, and having to sit there across the table and be like, you know, man, yeah, like kids, how they're dressing these days, they're looking like super. And once you build that rapport, then you've got your suspect who's more likely to open up to you and get you the information that you need. But yeah, in your case, you're needing that buy-in from your audience, so that you can have a solid show.
Yeah, yeah. It's the first time I've ever been associated with a child predator, though.
Yeah, I was like, where are you going with this, man?
Is it the jacket? I mean, it's the jacket. Yeah.
Honestly, I thought I missed something. I was like, what did I miss? I was like,
no.
Did I just zone out for a minute? Because all of a sudden, this is going in the wrong direction.
Well, it's on that thing of saying,
yeah.
It's on that thing of saying, like sometimes you have to just play a role, for a purpose.
Exactly.
Not that you think that and I use that extreme to show deliberately, but yeah, it's
but because a lot of stage guys say that, other stage guys that are selling training will then go, oh yeah, but you say this and you do and and you have and it's like, well, no, it's putting it in a frame that the audience can understand it, and help them come on board. So yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. So Grant, you've been doing hypnosis for how long have you been doing hypnosis? I'll ask.
3.5 weeks now. No,
3.5 weeks. And did you feel like you're almost there?
I've been doing it 3 weeks now,
right?
and I've got a training course coming up. No, I can teach you how to be a successful stage hypnotist.
All you need to do is have the continental breakfast at Holiday Inn Express.
That's exactly it. That is exactly it. I think I'm coming up to, I think it's 20 years now, doing it properly. I messed around with it for a few years before that. I always swore I would never be a hypnotherapist. My mum was a hypnotherapist, and I did not want to go down that route whatsoever. But then you find yourself there. Hypnotherapy as such wasn't really my bag. I enjoyed it. It was nice to help people, but there's something about that buzz when you go on stage that just, for me, yes, it's ego. Yes, I need applause. Yes, I need people to tell me how wonderful I am. And I don't get that from the therapy side of things, even though I'm doing more mindset stuff now as well, because I realized that was a great way of not having the responsibility to either be funny or to hypnotize people. So again, love that.
I gotta love the comment here from Scott. He says that Brian always has the strangest comparison.
and the dude has replied, like ADHD at its finest. You never know.
Yes.
I'm worried how that's going to come out in the edit.
I told you about it. I was like, this is how it's going to go, Jim. Brian's going to go off on a tangent and try to be like, I can relate to that.
Jim and Grant are like, what happened?
It's something for shock value, I'd imagine.
It keeps it interesting for sure. Well, Brian has an interest in law enforcement, so I can see where that would come in. That would make some sense. You got to get on there. Be a team player. Yeah, I get it, man. Never. I don't even want to go anymore on that.
Okay, well, we'll go to the next lowest form of scum of the earth. We'll talk about used car salesmen. They got to be like that mint green in the 70s. Oh, just a beautiful color. Chicks dig it.
But that's a lot of hypnotherapists. We're having this discussion on the live stream the other night, actually, that someone in the independent newspaper here, the independent newspaper, was saying that they'd been to a hypnotherapist to lose weight and felt like the person was doing a used car salesman kind of shtick to them. And I think a lot of hypnotherapists would do well to learn sales patter in order to bring their volunteers, their clients into trance. But definitely there's more benefit to hypnotherapists reading sales material, because there's a lot more money gone into the research of that than what's gone into hypnotherapy stuff.
Yeah. And not just to, and so like we were talking about before, it's not just to get them to sign on with you, but also because when you're selling somebody on quitting smoking or quitting, Oreos, that you're selling them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, not for the closing techniques, for the language patterns in order to convince somebody to let go of that negative habit.
Yeah. And I got to say, having just, both of us have done a lot of corporate speaking over the years, motivational talks and stuff for corporations, but we've both started doing our own, kind of producing our own recently. I think that was one of your earlier ones, right? That you just did.
Yes. Yeah. And great
and
fun. And the feedback was just, I love doing that type of thing as well.
Yeah. And, I get what you mean about that, because it kind of fills that need to, be up in front of a room and having people, they don't maybe applaud and laugh as much, but I mean, if they just laugh once, it's like, wow, that's great. But there's no pressure to make them laugh. But also you can see, like I had this woman that, when a student has that light bulb moment, and you can just see them light up. This woman had that, and she was trying to figure out what she should do, with her life. And she's got all these things, and she said this one thing, and she lit up. And I said, "That's it. Cross everything else off. That's your thing." And everybody in the room went, "That's your thing." Yeah. And she was like, "Oh, wow, I guess that is." I'm like, "No, that's your thing. Cross everything else off. That's it." And so that is such a great way to kind of marry the two of helping people and being in front of an audience.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's weird, because I mean, I came to the stage from a place of stage fright. I kind of did a show to get over the fear of public speaking, and now to kind of go full circle and now be in a room helping people. But again, from the stage, what makes stage hypnosis so profound for me is that energy of the audience focused on the stage. And I think it's exactly the same when you're kind of doing mindset group events from the stage. You've got that same energy. It's different. It's more dynamic than somebody sat in a room with some incense burning in the corner and some dolphin mating music going off in the background. There's an energy when everybody's focused kind of on the speaker.
You have a camera in my room, Grant? Stop getting creepy now.
There's a different energy. And I think people get a more profound change experience because of that kind of the collective unconscious.
Yeah, and it is great to see them kind of helping each other and talking through things. I do want to let everybody know I did pop the link in for your group for live streaming for hypnotherapists, and you say it's for hypnotherapists, but it's for anybody who wants to do live streaming. Right?
Absolutely, I weirdly, again, coming to live streaming. There's having stage presence helps when it comes to going live, but there's lots of little things that I've learned along the way that are just like silly little tips and tricks. And so the group is basically for that, to kind of help people get over that fear of going live and just putting stuff out there.
Sounds like you're telling people to get the hell out of their own way.
That's exactly it. It's you've just got to press the button to go live and talk. The one tip I could give people watching this is, and I see it all the time, especially with hypnotherapists that are new to it, they want to have a massive audience, and when they don't have it, they'll sit there and go, "Now then, guys, we're just going to hang on for a couple of more minutes for some more people to jump on." And you're like, "No, that's me gone." Just press it, go live, have a conversation with the camera. Don't worry how many people are watching it, because loads will watch it back later on.
Becca brings up a good question, and I'll ask Becca, are you talking from the perspective of the hypnosis subject, the person being hypnotized, or the one doing the hypnotizing?
I think she's talking about the hypnosis subject. What do you think, Grant? And we'll let her clarify. But Grant, what do you think?
Compliance, I think, is so important. It's not necessary, but I think it's so important. And if someone's used to compliance in being told what to do, especially naturally, then they're going to be great at hypnosis. I also think, a lot of hypnotherapists make fantastic hypnotic subjects for exactly the same reasons. Stage hypnotists, I think, are a little bit different. I think stage hypnotists are a bit more cynical. I know I don't volunteer for stage hypnosis shows. I love stage hypnosis shows, but I wouldn't volunteer for one. But whereas hypnotherapy, I would do. But yeah, I think if you're naturally compliant, you've already got that skill set. It's like someone that's naturally gifted at swimming or running or lifting weights. You've got a natural ability there to start with. Put in a little bit of training the subject in there, getting some more reps in, they're going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I know people are eager to get a taste of your hypnosis. I do want to the fighting the lighting back. Oh yeah, isn't it great, Mark? The lighting background. He really has set the bar high, hasn't he? As you can see, I'm on my way to getting there, but I'm still miles and miles away. What I want to ask you about,
I'm playing in the beer leagues, guys. That's
yeah.
I must admit, in seeing Jim step his studio up, I've actually stepped mine up. So I've actually now got, I mean, it's just in the process. In front of me here now, I have a 50-inch monitor pointing up so I can see what's going on. And I've also got a separate PTZ camera. So next week I'll have a 3-camera setup as well.
Oh, so Jim, let me translate. What Grant just said is game respects game. So you're stepping yours up now.
Absolutely.
Right,
That's it.
right.
I'm helping lots of people get better. And as they're getting better, I'm like, whoa, I need to get better. And I'm going to see, I went live with Jim. Was it last night? And I was upstairs in the office and I'm like, oh God, I look weak in this one. I need to step this up again.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
I had the iPhone camera on that time too, so it looked really good. This time it looks like crap. I'm all washed out. I hate it. I gotta read the directions again. I hate directions.
Just really great. You do not need all of this equipment. You know, I mean, there's a lot of equipment here. You don't need it. If you've got an iPhone from 12 onwards, you've got everything you need to go live and look good as well.
And look good, because
grab yourself an iPhone, a camera, and some, earbuds.
Yeah, that's it. You were good to go.
Yeah. Grant, so you talked about, and this is a great story, and I know people are eager for the hypnosis, but I really got to find out a little bit more about you, and I want people to understand where you're coming from in this, getting to this place where you've got this beautiful background and everything. Pandemic hit. Yeah. You and I are out of work for the most part, right? Yeah. And hundreds of other maybe not millions, thousands of other entertainers across the globe are out of work completely. I mean, never thought this would happen where somebody could just come in and say, no, you can't work, but I'll take my chances. No, you're not allowed to take your chances. You're going to go home and we're going to pay you some money, but it's nothing near what you used to make or what you would make. And so how did you handle that? And tell us about how that opened up some new vistas for you.
It's weird. At the time, it was the end of my world. It was, without being over dramatic, a lot of performers went through the same way. You are weighing up your options to go from being a very successful stage hypnotist who took great pride in just being an entertainment hypnotist. I wore that with a badge of honor. And then the pandemic hit and I had no income streams whatsoever. Looking back now, it was the best thing that happened to me because it was the thing that made me go, it's not about your ego. So be an entertainer, but also be a business person, And so if you can create multiple income streams, I think I probably have 6 income streams now from different avenues, some hypnosis, some events, some live streaming. But live streaming happened for me at a dark moment. Another hypnotist rang me up and said, why don't we do a Facebook Live? Because that was the time, I don't know if you had it in the US, but here in the UK, everyone that was a singer or an entertainer was in the living room, wailing songs down their iPhone and doing a terrible job, sounding and looking horrific. I think some of those guys are never going to get booked again. Everyone was doing it. And because no one had anything else to do, everyone was going, oh, it's amazing. So they've gone, why don't we just do a chat, talk about your stage hypnosis and then see where it goes. And for me, it was the thing that gave me that same rush, that same adrenaline as what I get when I go on stage. Because when I go on stage, I'm still nervous. But I love those nerves. Going live gave me the same buzz. And so from then on, I streamed, I'll say every week, but literally, I think last week, middle of last week, I did my 1,000th stream. So I figured it out that over the course of the 3 years, I have streamed every single day. So sometimes now I'm streaming 3 times a day.
But when you started, you weren't thinking, hey, 3 years from now, I'm going to hit 1,000. You just went, I'm going to go one step and another step and another step. And all of a sudden you turn around and you go, holy crap, I've come a long way.
Yeah. It was speaking to someone, like speaking to Jim. I spoke to Jim saying, hey, Jim, I'd love to interview you for a live stream. Let's talk about some stuff. And we did that. And then I realized other stage hypnotists were in exactly the same place that I was. You know, we're not getting people giving us our round of applause. Our whole sense of identity has gone.
Yeah.
So it was a great opportunity for me to speak to those people, help them share their story as well, and help them promote their business a little bit. And it just, to then get the feedback just kept me going. And then you kind of get, you look into it and go, right, how can I make this better? How can I make it better for the audience? And then it stopped being about necessarily me and more about the people that were on the show and how I can make that look better. And then just by consistency, because sometimes you go in live and there's 2 people watching, 3 people watching,
Right.
and it's easy to give up at that stage. But then through that process, somebody at Amazon reached out because they were launched a live streaming platform, which is Amazon.live, and asked me to do some stuff for that. The BeLive software company that I use, B.live, they reached out to me and saw my stream and then said, you know, we want you to do some stuff for us. And so just by being consistent and showing up repeatedly, even when the audience didn't, that for me has paid massive dividends now.
You know, what a great example of, you know, I mean, so many of us, I mean, if we don't get any views, we're like, oh, well, why should I even do this? But yeah, I mean, the great thing about this is when you live stream something like that, and especially when it goes out to like any of the social media things, but especially like YouTube, because it's going to be there forever.
Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, you're really leaving behind value that's available. The people are going to, you know, I mean, I find that people, you know, I don't get that many views live, but we'll get another 200 or 300 views in the next week.
Yeah,
you know,
and it's especially if you go into YouTube, if you're multi-streaming, you know, you'll pick up videos in 6 months' time, 12 months' time, where because you've put it out there, there's a great video of a female hypnotherapist, stage hypnotist, who's amazing. She's recently done something else, and on the back of that interview is now getting so much traffic. It's unbelievable. But that was something that was recorded 2 years ago. But like you said, that's there forever. It's genuine knowledge and value that's out there that eventually people will pick up on. And
yeah,
it's great.
And the other thing too, what's that, Grant?
I was going to say, it's great for me to look back at some of the first live streams, and it motivates you to see how terrible some of the first ones were. And as you come along, it gives you that whole, I love looking back at the old ones now, where I wore a t-shirt and my hair was a mess and my lighting was terrible and it was all overexposed. But you can go, this is what it was and this is what it is now.
And you know, and that reminds me, because when we first spoke, I think you were wearing a dirty t-shirt and eating a curry, and and then like, you know, a year later you're all dressing up and stuff, and I'm going like, what am I, chopped liver? I was you know, for the interview, and then of course you had me back on. So
another chance to come on.
I've got a question, Jim. Grant, did you ever lay Jim down in the middle of like a filthy street outside of a college university, like after a Friday night, asking for a friend?
Nobody does it all the time.
Yeah,
not me. All the time. That's his style. That's his style, Brian. That's his. Yeah. He's talking about the lay down induction that I did on the street with him, but that's Grant's style. Yeah. So he does all the time.
I love a drop back induction. There is something so dramatic about it, so theatrical about it. And I can do shows where my subjects aren't where I want them to be, but afterwards people will go, wow, you laid them down on the floor. It was brilliant.
No, Jim goes,
it looks so impressive.
Hey, we're outside University of Washington on a Saturday. And he's like, I moved you just a little bit so your head wouldn't go in that used chewing gum that's on the ground. I'm like, oh, thanks. You just moved me just outside of the gutter, just a touch.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Love it.
That's the kind of guy Jim is.
Yeah.
It was my first time doing street hypnosis, and I did a just in trance type thing, and he was out. He just went boom. And it was cool. I mean, I do love those drop inductions. And like you demonstrated one in my classroom out at the Michigan conference. Really, really cool to watch in person. Really interesting.
And being the subject, all I remember is people going, is he okay? Is he going to live? Do we need to call an ambulance?
Yeah.
And I just started giggling, just laughing hysterically. And just like people are asking tonight, what's wrong with him?
Yeah. I once had a very disruptive audience member at a show I was doing. and he was a big guy, heavy set guy, but like really heavy
Big bone.
set, big
Big
bone,
bone.
big bone.
had
All those big bones were in his belly.
He was
And,
passing the
and
gravity
so-
there.
Yeah, so I've dropped him down, and it was at the time in the UK. There's a massive news story about Cedric the lion, and some hunters had shot this lion in Africa, and it turned out to be a like some kind of mascot for whatever it was, and it was everywhere, and everyone was calling for these guys to lose the jobs, and so I've dropped this guy down on the floor, and now bear in mind, I did not put my foot on him, but I did the pose like a trophy hunter. So I kind of stood there, my hands on my hip, make it look like my foot was on his belly.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny, and I posted it online, and literally the barrage of comments that I got. So, I mean, some stage hypnotists telling me if I went to their country, they would punch me in my face, and I'm like, dude,
Wow.
I like it. It was a joke that was a current news story, but. Yeah, it was.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, Americans would be like, "You want a shot at the title? Here, we'll do the Captain Morgan pose." You know?
So hey, I dropped your link for Amazon, so people go check him out. Go check out his Amazon live page. He got a lot of good products. And especially if you're trying to go live, he really. It's funny. I'll hit him up. Hey Grant, what should I get? And he'll tell me, and then I'll go look on his page and go, oh yeah, that's the thing he talked about.
Yeah,
the other day. Sorry to bother you. That's just the way it is. As you find out when you start doing stuff online, people they ask you a lot of stuff that you're just like, please, why are you asking me?
Well, no, but I think it's so important though, because that's what I did. There's lots of information out there, and I think what you got to do is find someone that is doing a live that you look at and go, I like the look of that. What camera is that? What background is that? What lighting is that? What's this? And once you know that information, then you can set it up how you want it to do. So that's what I did. I looked for someone that was, I think it was Sean Cannell on YouTube. And I thought, I really like his setup. What camera is that? And exactly that. So, and that's what the Amazon thing became, just talking about the products that I use to go live.
And it's nice to be able to go and instead of just Googling stuff, to be able to go to a certain page and go, oh, I know this is, it's like, I just want somebody else to make the decision. You know what I mean? I don't want to have to try to figure out which one is best. I'm like, Grant uses it. It must be good. Here's what I think is important, because I think, and I'm sure you hear this a lot too, but people, they want to get started in live streaming or whatever it is. In fact, I heard this from a family member of mine who wanted to start doing makeup tutorials. And it was my niece, Christine, if you're watching, don't do this anymore. And she was like, well, but I only have my iPhone, and I'm like, okay, well, no, I need a better camera and I need a better background. And no, you need to start.
Yeah.
And that's what Grant did. He started. You didn't start with this background. You didn't start with this quality camera.
No. I started inbuilt camera in my computer, inbuilt microphone, terrible lighting, sat at my desk, imperfect action beats perfect inaction. Start where you are.
You're so right. That's a great.
You'll learn as you go along, and you can look and go, right, what I'm going to do this week is, because I weren't a tech guy before this. So as you go along, you learn all the different things. And now, I know everything about the stuff that I use, not everything that the stuff can do. I only know everything of what I use it for. As Jim will tell you when he asks me for some advice, sometimes I'm like, no idea, it doesn't work.
And then he just tells me, go read the directions. And I'm like, how dare you?
Just go read the directions.
I will tell you, my new assistant reads directions. And so I'm having her work on some projects, and she's like reading directions. I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Thank you.
For a second, I thought you were talking about me. I was like, no, I'm over here leaking brain lubricant and
Everybody grab your pen, write this down. What did you say again? You said imperfect action.
Imperfect action beats perfect inaction. And that's what we do.
Every single
we
time.
always put barriers in our ways. Once I get this, once I get the promotion, then I'll be happy. Once my partner does this, then I'll be happy. Once I lose a certain amount of weight, then I'll be happy. Once I do this, then just start. Do it now and just start.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I find that time, and you know what I gotta say, does anybody notice my collars just suck today? I've been messing with it all night long and it's driving me crazy. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Anyway, damn it. Okay, forget it. So yeah, thank you for writing that. Thank you for writing that down, Sean. I love having a producer. Sean, you are the best. Sean, I'm gonna bring you on in just a couple minutes to ask any questions that you have, and maybe you'll join us for some hypnosis as well. We'll give him a break from the back dungeon there. It's been such a help having him help out. Grant, I can't believe it's already been almost an hour. It's getting really late over there. What do we need to know about you that we haven't found out already?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, we already know about that. We've seen the videos, Grant. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, just, I mean, if anyone has any question or anything, hit me up on social media. I'm always happy to chat, make connections, and just, yeah, have fun.
Really is one of the good guys. Really, I mean, I wouldn't team up with him if he wasn't one of the good guys. And as I say, we're working on several projects together. Really, just if you're a stage hypnotist or interested in that, please go check out the Performing Hypnosis Summit. It's going to be amazing. We got like over 20 hours of content over a weekend. I mean, learning from people like Tom Silver. I mean, these people really want to share this information with you to make you better. And I've had so many people. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was at the Blackpool Magic Convention yesterday, and there was a great stage hypnotist there, Chris Doc Strange, and he was doing a bit of a chat, and he said, you know what I mean? He says, if anyone has any questions, to get in touch with him, and it's perfect. And a lot of the old guys are exactly the same with this. He says, I would hate to kind of come off this mortal coil and die with this stuff. I would hate to not share it, for people not to know it. And I think that's it. We get to a certain level where it's not about us anymore. It's about how can we pass something down to the next generation of stage hypnotists so that it just gets better. We need more good quality stage hypnotists. And
yeah, I've had so many people just say that is such a great idea. I'm glad you're doing that. You know, I'm excited to participate. So I'm really excited. Mark says 50% of life is just showing up. It's so true. Just show up, people. Just show up. Yeah. Whatever it is, just show up. I've had so many opportunities by just showing up. That's it. Start doing the work. Yeah. Grant, you know, I want to bring you back on Exploring Awesome sometime to talk about some of your younger childhood and stuff. But I know that you got through a really tough childhood. Can you tell us kind of what? Because you were homeless for a while, right? Yeah, I mean, I was on the streets. I ended up in the care system, but weirdly, a lot of that was my motivation to do better. I knew from having an understanding of hypnosis at a young age, I knew my options were very limited, and I think that kind of helped me. I used to think it was having the gift of the gab in order to get my own way, but it was a coping mechanism. But yeah, and it makes me who I am now. And a lot of people love me or hate me. I do like, I like to drive a nice car. I like to wear nice clothes. I like expensive stuff. And that's because and I love it. I wear it with a badge of honor. It's unresolved childhood trauma. So I use it as an excuse for everything.
Well, you appreciate it so much more because of what it took.
Exactly. And being around that.
Hey, if it's free, I'll take 3 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's no value there.
And it's being around that environment. It can either forge you in the fires of hell and you can go on to do something great, or you can let it consume you and use it as an excuse. And unfortunately, some people see it as an excuse. For me, it was something to motivate me to propel forward. And that's always does that, which is why I am a workaholic, but again, I do that because I enjoy doing it.
And you don't want to go back to the alternative.
Exactly.
Of what was.
Exactly. Yeah.
And when you find that, and and again, because Grant and I talk several times a week, so I probably shouldn't even bother, but I'll say, you and I were talking the other day, and I was talking about the fact that I feel like I get the same dopamine rush now from my work that I used to get from video games, and you talked about you had the same thing. And guys, it can be like this for you. It really, truly can. When you find that thing and stop being afraid to chase it, go after it. And when you get to that place where you can't wait to get started on your work, even though it's work you may not even want to do, but you can't wait to get started on it because you want to get it done. It's such an amazing feeling.
Yeah. There is no better feeling than And I do it, we have, let's say, negative self-talk. The thing that gets rid of negative self-talk is action, doing something, starting a project, and then seeing just even a tiny result from that, just little wins day in, day out, just absolutely fires you up, and it's, again, having a couple of different, I mean, Jim, both you and me, we are terrible for Glex County. Let's just have all the projects. Let's do them all.
Right.
But it keeps the fire burning, and because it's doing different things that you love and enjoy, you don't get tired from it. You're not exhausted by doing one thing constantly. Having 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different projects going, your brain is just on fire. I love it.
Stimulated all the time. And I mean, really, I love it. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I can't wait to get started.
Yeah, we're having another Wendy episode here. We're gonna be like, oh, it's midnight here. Grant's gonna be like, oh,
the sun is coming up.
I know. But I do want to make sure we want to get Grant to bed sometime. He does have to work probably at some point tomorrow or something, or maybe Choi's, even his wife is waiting anxiously for him to get home, sleeping, I'm sure.
Sleep. Jim's dictating another audiobook, doing multiple streams of income and multiple projects, like Grant said.
Yeah, exactly.
Jim's romance novels.
I'd buy that.
Right.
Yeah. That is definitely nighttime reading.
Hello there. That's right. You're going deeper and even deeper. In Elman, the original text is something like deeper and deeper, and you can't do that today because people start cracking up. That's right, deeper and deeper. You can't
do that with a straight face. You can't do that with another man. It's just no.
Well, you certainly can't do it on stage. People are just, there's too much. I figured that out. We can't do that. So that's right. Deeper and deeper. All right. So we're going to bring Sean on. Anything else that we need to know? Where do we get a hold of you? All that good stuff.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
OnlyFans.
Yeah. Everywhere.
Grant Saunders. And sometimes you go by Stage Hypnotist, right?
Yes. My Facebook, I have Grant Saunders, Stage Hypnotist. On TikTok, I am Comedy Hypnotist. On YouTube, I'm Grant Saunders Hypnotist. But yeah, Grant Saunders. Search for Grant Saunders, you'll find me. There'll be something purple there. That sounds a bit weird.
Speaking of going deeper and deeper.
That's a Freudian slip.
We hope the children are in bed.
There you go again.
And here's a good one. I like this. Why?
And I was the weird one earlier.
You got the wheel spinning, I guess. I almost said never mind. I'm not gonna say what I almost said. Anyway, so go look up Grant, find out what he's up to. Go find out his products. He also does some a lot of tech stuff. Really, I think that's mostly what he does, right?
Yeah.
Mostly tech stuff. A lot of good stuff, man. I wish. See, and here's a great thing: if you stick with this kind of stuff, pretty soon people start giving you money and products to represent them. So.
Literally, I joke about the whole influencer thing, but I have companies sending me tech stuff all the time now, and I love it. So they literally send me stuff and then pay me money to just open a box, and I'm like, I'm not a bikini model. I'm a middle-aged just guy. You know what I mean? But it is brilliant.
He's a Speedo model. Don't be shy.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Mark? Can I get notifications from Grant? What does that mean? I think if you go like and subscribe his YouTube channel, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if you want, you can pay me. I'll stand outside your house and give you notifications like, good morning. The weather today.
Also, if you're talking about his Amazon page, here it is. I think you can get updates, probably notifications.
Yeah. If you could follow Amazon, you don't get spammed by Amazon or me. It doesn't cost you anything. Just a second to click that follow link. it's always nice to follow on Amazon because it's a new platform as well.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's a great point. You know, if you're not, if you're looking for something to do, that's a great platform. I think last time you said there were about 400 people total doing live streaming from Amazon.
Regularly live streaming. It's a great way of building a new audience. If you've got a bit of a following already, sign up to the Amazon Influencer Program. And it's a great way, especially if you're multi-streaming, to get a whole new audience. You think how many millions, if not billions of people are on Amazon. It's a great way to put your face in front of those people, which was my reasoning behind it. And it is now, I would probably say, a third of my business. And it's not adding any extra time to what I'm doing. So yeah, definitely.
It's fantastic. Awesome. Fantastic. And you know what Grant said, you might have caught that. He said, if you have a bit of an audience already, so Amazon's one of those places where you need to have an audience. And there's so many, you know, I run into clubs now that want to know what your social media account is, what your email list is before they want to book you, radio shows and things like that. If you can start building that audience, doing whatever you need to do, and if you want tips on that, shoot me a message. Don't buy followers because they won't do anything for you. But
buying
there are ways
followers
to get them.
Will do the opposite. When you start working with, you know, big organizations, if you've bought your followers, that will get you blacklisted.
So there's legitimate ways to do it to really get a lot of followers. And it's so important if you want to do that kind of stuff, but also be taken seriously. You know, if somebody clicks on your Facebook page, you got 200 people. I mean, that's great if you're a regular person, but if you're trying to be somewhat of a public person, an influencer, it's not going to cut it. Grant, it's time. Let's bring on Sean. We'll bring him up from the basement. Sean, do you have any questions or any wise words?
I'm in IT. That's where all great server rooms are, is in the basement.
That's right. Do you have any questions or any wisdom that you'd like to share since you've been hiding out in the basement all this time?
Well, you know, I'm busy cracking jokes at Jim's expense, which is, you know,
I love it.
Cheap for me because it's great. You know, who wouldn't buy anything from Jim? Damn, I'm pretty Kellner. Did I see your hand go up? You wouldn't buy anything from him, Brian? Like, come on.
No. I said it's cheap. It's cheap for you because of the exchange rate.
Well, no, not really. It's actually more expensive for me.
Expensive.
Okay.
Yeah. 78 cents to the dollar, I think, something like that.
I tried. I'm semi-pro. Remember, I'm still beer league.
Last time the Canadian dollar was at par, we still had a conservative prime minister, so that's a long time ago.
Yeah,
gotcha. A conservative prime minister in Canada, that just seems like not even possible.
It depends on Quebec. Really, it does. Whether they decide yes or no.
Gotcha.
They have lots of people there. Not so much where I am, but that's okay. You know, I think two things come across, and we talked about it last time with Wendy, is having that heart for the people that you're working with, your clients, your you know, the people that you serve, you know, in what you do, and that I think pushes everybody that has that heart to pay it forward. And that's what I love about this community. And Hypnothoughts last year was my first Hypnothoughts. Jim will know this because Jim will know this because he got a special present from Canada. You got to bring that on, Jim.
Find that thing.
Yeah, you got to bring that on.
I got to find it. I got to find that thing. I don't know what happened to it.
Make yourself.
My wife probably stole
it. Get Siri out and make a note. But anyway, you know, that community is super tight in the sense that we were all there. And the one thing I could say of absolutely everybody, we were there to share. We were there to learn from each other. We were there to make each other better. There wasn't you know, there wasn't a I'm better than you ego that I came across anyway. I mean, I'm sure there were probably a few out there, but you don't find that everywhere.
Right.
And you know, being a career educator, I can name on my hand the number of people that are there to make me better every day, and everybody else is trying to you know, they're trying to make their way and make their name, and it doesn't matter who gets in their way. You know, when you have a group of people that'll back you up, that'll build you up, that'll push you forward, and then say, oh, hey, you made it. How did you do that? And then you can turn around and pay that back. That's, to me, is just amazing. So
Thank you, Sean. Thanks. All right, we are going to get together. So we talked to Grant earlier, and he's wanted to start us off with some street hypnosis type stuff, hypnotic phenomena type things. And we're each going to take a turn and do a couple of things. And then he's going to lead us into one of his soothing hypnosis recordings. And like he does on his Sunday sessions, be sure and check those out. Before we move on, though, I just want to show everybody this in case, where's it at? This right here, if you're a stage hypnotist, yeah. We got ring jealousy. Wait, can I yeah, there it is. The League of Extraordinary Hypnotists, stage hypnotists. You got to get the ring. Look up Jim Sellis. Jim Sellis.
What's the fit like on your ring, Jim?
Well, it's pretty good. It's on my. It's a pinky ring though, which is kind of weird. I'm not used to wearing a pinky ring, but yeah, I'll suffer with it. It's cool.
Cool. Yeah, there was Chris Exchange. He had his ring at the Magic Convention as well. So yeah, they're really cool. I think I'm gonna have to get one myself.
Same style or a different one?
Same style. It got it from
all the way from America. All right, cool. Yeah. Grant, Sean, come on, guys.
I'm laughing at the thing where you're like, look at the ring, guys. I'm like, someone later on is going to have a cat go right through the monitor.
Right.
Something shiny.
So Grant, you know, we'll just end up doing hypnosis for about maybe 20 to 30 minutes, and whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you feel like doing, and then we'll close out.
Yeah. Cool beats.
Okay, so go ahead and start us. Do you want to start us, or do you want me to?
Do you want me to start? Just an eye closure thing or suggestibility test to start with?
Sure, anything. Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Well, okay. Put your hands together like so, and just get straight out like this, and just look at the space between your fingers, and then just.
Oh, and I should say before we go any further, if you're driving or moving around, please stop doing that.
Yes.
Pay close attention to what you're doing. No driving, no moving around. Okay.
No, especially if you got your hands out. So yeah, hands out, straight out in front of you.
We don't care if you have a Tesla.
Look at the space between your hands. Visualize those hands. Make sure you would recognize them if you saw them again. Take a big deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, just close your eyes down now. With your eyes closed, or so imagine you can see those hands in your mind's eye now. And imagine in the palms of those hands is two powerful magnets. Imagine those magnets are drawing those hands in closer and closer together. In a moment, you're going to feel those hands touch. When they do, it will let you know that you have a very powerful imagination, a very powerful mind. But the closer those hands get, the better you'll feel. I want you to feel those magnets get stronger now. In a moment when they touch, it will put a big smile on your face. But what's really weird is the heat and the energy as those fingers start to touch together now. That energy is just going to go from your fingertips into the palms of your hands, to your wrist, to your elbows, and right into your shoulders. You're going to start to feel that energy kind of circulating around and creating that loop. And as it does so, it's going to re-energize you in your chest. But you're going to start to notice that your hands and arms start to feel heavy now. As you start to feel the weight of those hands moving down towards your lap all by themselves, you're going to start to notice how good this feels, because the weight of those hands just represents the weight of the stress and tension of this week. And as that weight drifts down, you start to feel that weight of the tension of the stress to drift down as well. And as that drifts down even further now, you start to feel good inside. In a moment, I'm going to count from 3 to 1. You'll open your eyes, you'll open your hands, and you'll feel good. Looking forward to going into a profound state of hypnosis as we play around with your unconscious mind. 3, 2, 1. Eyes open. Hands a bit of a shake.
Love it.
Yeah. I must admit, it's. I love the magnetic hands as an induction. I actually use a variation of that during my stage show, and I think it's a great indicator to go from a suggestibility test into an induction.
Great. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. One of you guys want to do one now?
Oh, go ahead, Jim.
All right. All right. Let's just do a simple eye catalepsy. So go ahead and just take a nice deep breath in. Exhale and close your eyes. And if there's anybody out there that's watching, if you'd like to join us on the live stream, click the link that we shared earlier. Remember, no driving or moving around. Now I want you to open your eyes and close them down one again. This time I want you to open your eyes and I want you to try to look at your eyebrows. I want you to imagine that you're looking at your eyebrows. Just try to look at those eyebrows. Let those eyes start to get heavy. And it's not because I'm saying so. It's because that's what happens when you have a staring contest with your eyebrows. And then close those eyes right down. Close them right down. Close those eyes and let those eyes become so relaxed, so very relaxed that they just don't want to open. So that in a moment, when I count from 1 to 3, you'll find that those eyes just want to stay closed. So I want you to focus on all the eye muscles, all the nerves around the eyelids. Let them become super heavy. And then imagine that we're putting some super glue on the eyes, really locking those eyes down. This is your imagination. I can't do it for you. On the count of 3, you'll try to open your eyes, but I want you to discover that they just don't want to open. And the harder you try to open them, the more locked they become. 1, lock those eyes down one more time. Totally, completely locked shut. You can't open them. Saying to yourself, I can't open my eyes. 2, the harder you try to open your eyes, the more locked they become. 3, try to open your eyes, find they just don't want to open. The harder you try to open your eyes, the more locked they become. Keep trying, and then stop trying. Stop trying. Just relax now. Just relaxing completely. Good. And if you're watching at home, be sure and let us know what results you get, whether it worked for you or not. And I want you to think about this concept. You just saw my ring a few minutes ago. But what you're going to find now is I'm going to show you my ring again in just a moment. And it's going to be the funniest thing you've ever seen. In fact, just thinking about that ring now starts to make you laugh. It makes you chuckle, makes you giggle. Just thinking about this ring, it's so funny, but you don't know why it's funny, but it reminds you of your favorite joke, reminds you of a favorite funny movie, and it starts to make you giggle and laugh as if someone's tickling you, as if you're seeing something really funny. In a moment, when you open your eyes, you're going to find that this ring is absolutely hilarious. 1, 2, 3, open your eyes. Check out my ring and notice how funny it is. The more you laugh, the more you giggle, the funnier it is. The funnier it is, the more you laugh. Now, the more you giggle, the more you laugh, the funnier it gets. And the more you resist, the funnier it gets. It gets even funnier as you resist. As you resist, it gets even funnier. Try not to laugh and find that it's just hilarious. And then take a nice deep breath in and then just sleep all the way down, relaxing, collapsing, going deeper with every breath. Very good, very good. Just like that. Very good, very good. Just like that. Let us know. Becca says, worked again. Fantastic. Worked again. Always works for Becca. She is a great subject. All right. And you're back in the room. Brian, Sean, either one of you want to try something with the folks at home?
Oh, I was actually I sent a message through Facebook to Becca to see if she was able to come on, if she's not going to wake anybody. But I also sent that while you guys were doing the sleepy eyes are closed. So clearly
So
it worked. So she has not
Right.
Looked at that.
Right. And hey, if you watch this later, be sure and let us know also what your experience is like. And again, we never want anyone to fake, because this stuff is legit. We don't need you to fake it. So if it doesn't work for you, that's fine. Let us know. Hey, it didn't work for me. And then if it did work, let us know that too. So Becca, if you want to join us, jump on the, Sean, you want to share that link to go? I think you did already. Yep. Just jump on the link. And Sean is, or I guess since we're going to go ahead and just move right along to Grant is going to do a nice, wonderful hypnosis session for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, we're all accustomed to hypnosis. It's a great way of using your imagination to enable you to just let go of some of that stress, some of the baggage, the stuff that we've been holding on to for the week. So just take a big deep breath in through your nose. Hold it. As you exhale, just close those eyes down. With your eyes closed, I just want you to use your imagination. I want you to just allow yourself to just let go. Give yourself permission to just feel good, to just let go. As you're sat there, laid there, however you're listening to this experience, just allow yourself to just feel good. I want you to imagine that with every breath you exhale, every noise that you hear, every word that I say just helps you let go even further. And I wonder just how deep you can go. And it's really weird because some people can experience a really profound level of hypnosis in just a few moments. Some people can really experience a true profound depth where they can just let go. As you sit there, lay there, listening to the sound of my voice, you can realize that you can just allow yourself to just really become immersed into that wonderful sense of self, a wonderful sense of you. And this is a moment where you're really focused inside, a moment where you're focused on you and how it feels to just be. In a moment, I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. With each number I count, every breath you exhale, every noise that you hear will only help you go further and further into this wonderful state. 10 and 9. From the top of your head to the tips of your toes. 9 down to 8. Every nerve, every fiber, every muscle of your body, choosing to let go, choosing to allow yourself to give this process 100%. 7. Floating, drifting, dreaming even further now. 6. I wonder how good it would feel for you to really allow yourself to let go of that tension, to really allow those shoulders to just become loose and limp, to really let go now. 5, 4, 3, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. I wonder if you're aware of where you're holding that tension. I wonder if you can notice the difference. And I wonder if you can really allow yourself to let go, to allow the sound of my voice to guide you deep inside, to allow you to just let go. 4, 3, 2, 1, and just relax. As you take these few moments, these few minutes to really focus on you, to really give yourself that permission to feel good, to allow your unconscious mind to bring forward all of those small wins, those challenges you overcame, those things that make you feel good, the things that bring you joy, and to allow them to just keep coming forward, brighter, lighter, new thoughts, feelings, memories, positive things from the past that you dismissed at the time, but looking back now, you realize that's where the true joy lives. As your unconscious mind reminds you over the next 24 hours of all those small wins, you realize that your self-confidence starts to grow even more. Your self-belief starts to grow even more, and you start to feel great from the inside out. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 all the way up to 5. And you can take all the time that you need to really lock in, to reinforce that wonderful sense of self. Not because I say so, but because you've actually taken this moment right now to invest your time, your mind into yourself. 1, 2, 3, lock in each and every one of those suggestions in. And you'll surprise yourself over the next 24 hours when you will see a thought, a feeling, a memory from the past that makes you feel good. It may be the face of a friend that you'd forgotten about. And when that moment happens, it will put a big smile on your face, knowing that you've already made that profound change. 1, 2, 3, 4, feeling lighter and brighter in every way, shape, and form. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eyes open, wide awake. There we go.
Wow, that was nice. That was nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just got hypnotized by Jason Statham.
Yes. She says, I can join with Mike, but don't feel like chatting away, but still can still join. You missed it, Becca. Come on. You got to jump on it sooner. I tell you, that was, I had this thought. I was actually starting to go down. That's what she said. And then I caught myself. So I can't even stop myself. Sean, bleep that out, will you?
Deeper and deeper, Jim.
We have a
as I said it, I started chuckling to myself.
As I started experiencing trance, I thought, wow, what's gonna I was like, oh my God, I might actually go into trance, and then I'll just be sitting here and they'll be all like, okay, we gotta go. And nobody will end the podcast. It'll go on for hours. And yeah, that was good. Thanks. And we have Mark saying that was great. Thank you. Grant, it's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Always a laugh, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
I found most of the things I do these days involves me laughing at some point. I think you've got to find the joy in anything that you do in life.
Well, you sure do. You sure do.
That's
and
having a sense
Brian
of humor
Shaw,
with life.
Yeah. And hanging out with you at the conference, the Michigan conference, was like two 12-year-old boys, just such inappropriate, giggling and everything. Yeah, it was fun. Say no more. Anyway,
So Grant, when are you due back? When are you due back in the States again? Will you be making a left coast run?
Left coast. Where's that? That's that way, isn't it?
Yeah,
Your left
West
and my
Coast.
left.
West Coast.
Yeah.
we call the West Coast to the left coast.
Yeah. I'm in St. Louis in April. Hypno Thoughts in whenever Hypno Thoughts is. I must have been over there quite a bit this year.
Is that the Vegas one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which you have to go to one of these days, Brian. I mean, come on.
I was gonna say he can come up and it's like a $50 flight or something to go from Vegas to Everett right here in the backyard. He probably wants to avoid. He probably wants to avoid SeaTac Airport. That's just becoming brutal now.
Right.
Cool. I must admit, I enjoy being over there. It's I've traveled the world, but then for years I never traveled to America. And then I met Jim at HypnoBiz New York, and it's been good fun. I quite enjoy America.
Yeah, we'll show you some We'll show you some scenery. Take you on the ferry boat.
Yeah.
Keep out of Canada. Sorry.
Don't go to the tourist destinations. You come visit me in Saskatoon, the Paris of the prairies.
Nice.
Yeah.
Paris of the prairies. You know what? You could get some hunting in, I'm sure.
I am all for that.
You could use a gun, or you could be Canadian and try to hit them with your vehicle. They just kind of jump out of nowhere. So
I thought you were going to say we're using a hockey stick.
Yeah, my first.
In the winter we'd use a hockey stick. Yeah.
Yeah, my first show back after the pandemic, I had a deer run out straight into the front of my car and completely write it off. So
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
But in hindsight, it was a great thing. They paid me out more money than what I paid for the car, so I was quite happy.
Oh. Yeah.
It's a good story all around, except for the deer.
It's better than last time I was anywhere close to a deer, I was waiting for it to decide if it was actually going to cross the highway or not. So that was 5 minutes of waiting, and then it would take a step, and then it's like, I'm not going to risk this car, because this is like the third car that would have been hit by a deer. and for 5 minutes it decided nah, and then finally decided to go the other way. It's like,
but deer up where you're at have some size to them, don't they? Like
they
big,
do.
gigantic.
Actually,
you guys call them moose, right?
well, a moose is different because the moose doesn't reflect light. So
Your car bounces off the moose.
Yeah, they're very difficult to see, especially at night. And yeah, there was a time my dad and I were actually a quick hunting story. We were actually out hunting for deer, and just as the sun was coming up, 3 moose jumped right out in front of his brand new, like 2 weeks old. He just bought this beautiful GMC Z71 off-road bright red, this beautiful truck. And wow. I don't know how we survived, but somehow we squeaked in between all 3 of them. And yeah, otherwise there'd have been,
we call that divine intervention.
Well, yes, it is definitely something, that's for sure. So,
hey, Grant, again, thank you so much for joining us and for staying up so damn late.
Well, it's morning. It's Saturday now, so yeah.
Almost cartoon time for you.
Exactly. Do you know what? I'm really pleased because in 7 minutes' time, my business coach, he always goes live at 5 a.m. every morning. He's on a walk or a run somewhere. And so after this, I'm literally gonna jump on his live stream, and he will die of shock that I'm up at this time.
we made you pull an all-nighter. Like, you've got overtime. You need to call your shop steward, file a grievance with the union, but
absolutely.
No, Grant, it was an absolute pleasure. I do look forward to. I'll definitely reach out to you on Facebook Messenger. Got some ideas and then also some questions and everything. But awesome. We do look forward to actually the next time you come out. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I would love to come and visit your lodge as well, because I do love going to different lodges and seeing how you guys. I mean, I've seen what you did with our language, English. It'll be interesting to see what you did with the ritual.
Yeah, we've got some good food, but quick question: Do you guys totally not hypnosis related? Do you guys have shrine temples out in
shrines are not so popular here in the UK. I mean, we've got craft and side degrees. We have Rotary and we have Buffaloes, but Shriners are not so massive here.
Okay, come out to the Pacific Northwest. We'll fix that.
Awesome.
And
awesome.
Rotary is you guys too?
Wow. We have Rotary, but yeah, it's not. That's not craft. That's a separate organisation. I always say Rotary is for people that can't get into craft.
Well, fingers crossed I don't have to go to Rotary. All right. So Becca, next time let's do this. Let's put you backstage. We'll bring you on early. You can sit in the backstage, and then when it's time to do the hypnosis, we will bring you on so we don't miss you. Okay. Mark, Becca, everybody that was watching, thank you so much. Great pleasure talking to you. Of course, Brian, the greatest co-host of all time. Ed McMahon, wishes he was as cool as you. Sean, greatest producer ever. Best haircut as well. Sean, I mean, I'm just going to go home now. Grant, pleasure as always chatting with you. Oh, there is a Sean on the thing, so never mind. I was thinking I missed. You know what? I think I'm drunk. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching the show. Hypnosis Hero, Get Hypnotized. If you guys will wait around for just 1 minute after I end the broadcast, we'll just say our goodbyes. And please go download the Hypnosis Hero app in the Google Play Store, coming to iOS soon. Take care.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay free.
Awesome.
Take care.